or they could be doing some things about to get laid off. There's nothing anybody can do about it. It's just that the world is headed towards this way. The job reports that secretaries, anybody who's doing one test jobs, the Walmart greeters, for example, all those jobs will not exist in 5 to 10 years. You got to think about it. We're going to a world where facial recognition is everywhere. Why do I need a Walmart or Costco greeter or somebody to check your receipt? We have a 1,000 cameras in that building. We can track you from the parking lot all the way back to your house. And they can do that now with the technology we have. So what happens when we fully go digital? So yeah, you can steal, you can run in there and steal. They allow you to do that, but best believe the police will come knocking on your door. So I say that to say this. If you're not preparing yourself, preparing your family physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, you're doing them a disservice. We're moving into the world where it's going to be the have and the have-nots. It won't be a middle class or no middle ground. You're going to have it or you're not going to have it. So I would tell you to start looking at gold and silver. They both have hit all-time highs. Still being manipulated right now. They have a breeder. I think gold dropped below $4,000, but that's right now. But that means as gold and silver go up, that means your dollar is going down. Since 1971, your dollar has lost 99% of its value. Just in 2025 alone, your dollar has lost 10% of its value. So if you're saving money, you're putting money up for a rainy day, you're putting your money in the 401k, you're doing your future self a disservicement. You need to take that money. Well, let me not tell adults what to do, but this is what I would do. I would take that money, look at volatile assets, and place that money in those instruments and allow it to grow. And you don't have to worry, because over time, that money will earn compound interest, and you will make more money by putting in those investment vehicles than allowing it to depreciate while it's sitting in your bank account. And we know we love to look at numbers when we check our bank account. But when you're looking at that $20,000, that $30,000, that $40,000, that $50,000 that you have saved up, as long as inflation is here, you're looking at half of that money spending wise, value wise. Today they're about to do quantitative easing, which means inflation will come roaring back next year. Jerome Powell has about 3 to 4 more months left as the chairperson of the Federal Reserve. Trump will bring in the person he wants, that he knows will start to do quantitative easing. Now, he did put Jerome Powell in his position, but Jerome Powell did what he wanted to do because the Fed doesn't have to listen to anybody. They're their own sovereign entity within the confines of the United States. So, once Donald Trump get the person that he wants in, that he knows will start quantitative easing, easy money will flow back into the system. Liquidity will flow back into the system. And that's the reason why these risky assets are not performing that well, because the liquidity is dry. We need quantitative easing. We have been doing quantitative tightening for the last 2.5 years. And that's also a reason why the job market is so bad right now, because of the quantitative tightening. They understood jobs, well, not jobs, but unemployment had to be high in order to stave off a recession. Technically, we have been in a recession for 2.5 years, but they have the instruments to change the ratings and the measurements on the CPI, right? So, like I said, this is a real video, spitting shit. But this is just my lucid thoughts, things that I'm thinking about. And also I'm trying to warn my 31 subscribers, hey, you have to start thinking about now, not later. If it's going on less vacations, if it's investing more money, if it's picking up another shift, you have to do that. If you're working in the healthcare industry, any white collar industry, healthcare, software, tech, Amazon Web Services, the cloud, um, any kind of apartment managerial positions, any kind of software-based job that's dealing with analytics and data, just know you're about to be replaced. If you're dealing with large language models, just know you're about to be replaced. And this is not to make people scared or anything like that. It's just to wake your ass up. Because right now your job is looking for ways to replace you. They already have the way to replace you. They're just trying to set up the foundation before they fully go digital. So that's why the job layoff report I read that for a reason. I read to let you know that these jobs have been working on this technology for over 10 years, maybe 15 to 20 years, trying to perfect this AI. And people have fed the AI all their information to teach it what to do. Now this AI is coming for your jobs. So instead of you getting mad, resentful, take that money, start looking at risky assets, crypto, art, NFTs, the stock market, just dealing with tech stocks, energy stocks, because you understand that we have to build nuclear facilities to power the AI in the digital world. You need unlimited energy. That's why if you start looking up our energy sector, look at the last 15 years of how the energy levels have increased in us using it to push this AI forward, whether it's Silicon Valley or whatnot. So start doing your research on things and stop listening to podcasters that's talking about stories from 30 years ago that can't help your life right now. That's why they inundate us with all these gossip queens. They got all these men out here gossiping like little bitches on these podcasts talking about shit that don't matter. Well, I want to hear your story when you got stabbed 30 years ago. You know what I mean? What the fuck that's going to do for me? But they have us inundated with shit that don't matter. Stop putting information in your mind and listen to podcasts that's talking about money. It's talking about investing and not trading. Stop listening to these traders. A lot of these guys are getting paid to influence you to lose your money. 99% of traders lose their money. Only 1% of traders make it. They actually make money. If you want to trade, that's your business. I'm just trying to let you know you in a manipulated game. And yes, every market in the world is manipulated. There's no such thing as a free market. And it's a humbling experience because when I went to college, they made it seem like everything was on the up and up. And then you get in the real world, let you don't pay your taxes. Let you file bankruptcy several times over. Let's see if you can recover from that. You're not in the club. You're not in the club. So winter is here. Also start looking at the debasement of the dollar. Start looking at de-dollarization. Start looking at BRICS. Start looking up blockchain in your company. I have a frat brother that works for State Farm. I tried to sit him down 4 or 5 years ago and talk to him about how State Farm is trying to replace him. He won't believe it. Now State Farm is automating their systems. So eventually those State Farm agents, they'll be out of a job pretty soon. And it just is what it is. This is just the world we're heading into. So be ahead of the curve. Don't be behind the curve. Because winter is coming for everybody. Like Janet Yellen said, we're broke. We're out of money. We have to keep this Ponzi going by printing more money. And the government shutdown shows you that. Also, the government shutdown is showing you that a lot of those jobs, they won't be returning. They'll be replaced with AI and robotics and technology. So that's another reason why the government is being shut down. Those people who whining about food stamps, they'll eventually get their food stamps back. But shouldn't they put should a light bulb in your head go off? Like, damn, they're playing with me. They're fucking with me. I can do better. I need to get up off this system because eventually they might shut this stuff down. I might not have these services anymore. They might getting ready to get rid of my race in the form as the permanent underclass. That's why they bringing in all this cheap and free labor. And that's what America is ran on, cheap and free labor. That's why they let all those Hispanics or whoever, immigrants, illegal immigrants, cross the border. They need free and cheap labor. They're trying to replace your ass. So if you have a job, be thankful, be fortunate that you have a job. If you're looking for a job, hang in there. Start looking at overseas. Start looking for contractor jobs. Don't just keep it to the U.S. Be willing to relocate yourself. Because if it's not working here, it might work somewhere else. Have your passport ready. Have a clean background. Don't sit here and just whine and complain and suffer mentally, emotionally, physically, and be like the rest of the people that's about to go through this grave depression to the point where they go commit suicide. I'm telling you, the suicide rates will pick up in the next 5 years because these people won't have a job. These white collar jobs, they will be obsolete. Majority of them. If you're not in a high paying position, and even the people in the high paying position will lose their jobs because those corporations don't want to continue to pay them their salary. They're greedy. So just remember this. And this is just a lucid thought that I have. Like, let me just get on here and talk about some things and try to, I don't want to say motivate, but just warn people, man. This is the road ahead. Like I said, next week I'll be putting out that World Economic Job Report of 2025 to show you these are the fields that will not be in existence in 5 years. Peace.